have everyone. And before we get going, I did want to say we got all of your questions in the registration form that you guys filled out, but feel free to type any questions you have either in the chat or unmute yourself and we will answer. And we've put in a lot of the answers to your questions throughout this PowerPoint, but if something else comes up, please feel free to share it. We'll also have a section at the end of this presentation where you can ask any questions and we'll have a question and answer section. But we wanted to start by introducing ourselves. So I'm Dr. Leah Worthy. I am the assistant professor for this program, and I'm also the field placement coordinator. So I do a lot with the field placement, internship, and practicum portion of this program. Dr. Chu.
Hi, everyone. My name is Chi-Chin Chu. I'm the director of the Clinical Rehabilitation and Mental Health Counseling Program, and I'm also oversee this online rehabilitation counseling and disability science program. It's really good to see many of you here. I'm hoping you will use this opportunity to ask us as many questions as you have. Thank you. Tatiana?
Hello, my name is Tatiana Costa. I'm the academic program specialist for the RCDS program. And I also just wanted to let you guys know that this is being recorded as we go along. Thank you and welcome. Thanks for being here.
Yes, and then as you guys can see on this slide, we have a number of other faculty who help teach in this program. And so if you come to our program and are accepted, you'll get to know them a lot more. All right, so going ahead to the next slide. So we wanted to give you guys an overview of the program, address some of those questions from that application form you filled out. But the purpose of the Rehab Counseling and Disability Sciences program is to improve the quality of life for people with disabilities and their families by educating graduate students with the essential skills, knowledge, and dispositions needed to become ethical, responsive, and culturally competent professionals working in the field of human services. Next slide. All right, so to achieve that mission, we have a couple of pretty unique program features that help us achieve our goal and then also help equip our students to work with people with disabilities in a variety of different rehab settings. So when this program was started over 50 years ago at USF, it was a rehab counseling program only. And then over the past 50 years, in-person programs merged with mental health counseling and marriage and family therapy. But what's unique about the RCDS program is that we've gone back to our roots, and the program is strictly a rehab counseling program, and it's fully online. So the focus of this program is on rehabilitation counseling, and this allows us to focus more of our classes on disability awareness and disability topics when you compare it to our on-campus program. So this program is a 60 credit hour master's program, and it's completely online. The one thing to note with this program is that right now we are not CACREP accredited, but we've designed the program and all of the courses to aligning with the CACREP standards for rehab counseling programs. And we're in the process of applying for accreditation and hope to have that in the next couple of years. We're not sure how long it's going to take because the application process is pretty lengthy. There's quite a few steps. But we are actively working towards that accreditation and hope to have it in the next couple of years. The program was also designed to meet the CRC requirements for earning a CRC certification if you graduate from a non-CACREP accredited program. So once you either graduate or you've completed 75% of your coursework in this program, you'll be able to sit for your CRC exam and earn your CRC. You do have to take the CRC exam, but this program has been designed to prepare you for that. Also, to become a CRC, there are specific classes and knowledge domains, areas that you need to have classes in, and then also specific hours in practicum and internship. But again, we've designed this program to align with the CRC requirements. So you'll meet all of their requirements when you graduate and you're able to sit for the CRC exam. Like I said earlier, this program is fully online, which is great for people who have to work full time while in the program. We have a combination of asynchronous and synchronous classes. So with our asynchronous classes, you log into Canvas, which is our management system, at the beginning of each week. And for each week, you'll have a module. We try to use different information sources. So sometimes you'll be listening to podcasts, watching videos, doing activities, and completing assignments. But for these asynchronous classes, each week we'll have a weekly module that outlines what your reading is, what activities, what assignments you have. But what's great about these classes is that you can work on your own pace and time, and you do have the opportunity to work ahead in these type of classes if you need to. But for our more clinical classes, like our practicum, internship, counseling skills and techniques classes, you'll have synchronous classes some weeks. So you'll end up logging into Teams and actually having a live class session with your peers. So with these classes, we have designed them to be in the evenings because we do know a lot of you guys are going to be working full time and coming back to school for your master's. So we do try to work with schedules and try to find a class time in the evenings that works best for either everyone or the majority of people. With the synchronous classes, you still have weekly modules that contain readings for the week and any assignments, but the bulk of the content will come from those class meetings in this format. We do offer flexible formatting for working professionals because, like I said, we wanted to build this program with it in mind that we have a lot of students who are also working full time. And so in a couple of slides, we'll talk about plans of studies and we'll show you how we've designed this program to be more flexible and to be catered to working professionals. So this program also offers specialized training for people interested in working with people with disabilities in both traditional VR, state VR settings, and then also in private agencies. So we offer a couple of classes that are unique to this program, and they focus on advocacy and social justice and advocating for societal change. When it comes to people with disabilities, we offer a social justice and trauma-informed care for people with disabilities course. And then we also offer a course that is on assistive technology. So we are excited that we can offer these specialized topic courses to help you be a more well-rounded professional no matter what setting you choose to work in after graduation. And then this program is also affiliated with the USF accreditation. And like I said earlier, we are working towards getting our KCREP accreditation. Dr. Chu?
Hi, yeah, so this is some examples of the career path that our graduates can be working with. Most of our students, we are going to have a first batch of graduation. This is how young this program is. But a lot of them are already working in the state agency as a rehab counselors, and some of them are wanting to working in the VA, but we also have students interested in becoming working in the private rehab agencies as a certified vocational evaluators, and some people are even exploring their job scopes into become an ADA coordinator or working in the university as a counselor for providing accommodation for students with disabilities. And some of our graduates can become a director of a rehab agencies as well. Dr. Worthy, anything to add on this one?
I don't believe so. Basically, there's a lot of options with this career, and so we wanted to highlight a couple and just show you the different options we have.
Yeah, and I just want to say, like, even like we actually have a alumni, not from this program, but from the on-campus program, is actually working for Amazon as an ADA coordinator. So we are trying to broaden the career path for our students into industry, and I think that that's one of the future of rehab counseling. Thank you.
Okay, so we wanted to give you guys a sample of our plan of study to show you what classes you'll be taking. So this is a 2-year program if you're full-time, 4 years if you choose to go part-time. These timelines do factor in that the students do take classes over our summer semesters. Right now, we're accepting students in the fall and the spring, and what's on the screen right now is our full-time fall start plan of study. And so one thing that you'll notice with our plans of studies is that a lot of courses are broken down into A and B semesters. So we did this to cater to those of you that are working full-time. So instead of having to focus on like 3 or 4 classes for the whole 16-week semester, you only ever have to focus on 2 classes at a time. So for example, for the first semester, if you start in the fall, you have your counseling skills and techniques class that runs the full 16 weeks of the fall semester. But then you also have, for the first half of that fall semester, your rehab counseling concepts and applications class, and that runs for the first 8 weeks. You finish that class in 8 weeks, wrap it up, and then you move on to the legal ethical counseling course for the second 8 weeks of the semester. So you're still getting all the same content you would in a traditional 16-week semester, but we've condensed all the content into 8 weeks to allow students to have to only focus on 2 classes at a given time instead of 3 or 4. All right, so the next slide is our part-time plan of study. If you do choose to go part-time, you take 1 to 2 classes per semester instead of 3 to 4 classes per semester. And again, if you choose to do part-time, it makes the program 4 years instead of 2 years like it does for the full-time students. So after the presentation today, we'll send this out to you guys and you can look more closely at the plans of studies. If you have any questions about course sequences or the classes, feel free to reach out to us and we're more than happy to answer your questions about courses. But you can also go onto our website. There's a sample plan of study posted there. And then you can also see our course catalog, which has more detailed descriptions of each of the classes. I do also want to say with our plans of studies that we are always trying to improve our program. So the order that you take these classes may change, and we take into account feedback from our current students and then evaluations of our program. But no matter what, these are the 19 classes that you are going to take at some point in our program. If you choose to come to our program and are accepted, we reach out to you before the start of every semester to make sure that you're registered for the correct classes in order to stay on track for graduation. And we also update you on any changes we make to the plans of studies. You're also assigned an advisor when you start our program, and your advisor meets with you at least once a semester to check in, see how classes are going, but also to review your plans of studies to make sure you're on track for graduation, and then also make any changes either based on changes we've made to the program or anything that arises in your personal life that causes you to have to change your classes. All right, next slide. Okay, so with this being a fully online program, we did want to make our classes as interactive as possible and offer a variety of learning experiences. So we partnered with the Innovative Education program at USF to create interactive modules to help facilitate your learning. We, like I said earlier, we've tried to include a couple of different learning experiences in our classes. So some weeks you might have a pre-recorded lecture. Other weeks you might have an interactive learning module. Some weeks you'll maybe have to watch a movie or a video or listen to a podcast and then complete related assignments. But either way, we have really tried our best to make this program as interactive as possible and provide you guys with as many different learning formats as possible and ways to also apply the material in our assignments. So another major part of this program is your field placement experiences. So these consist of 2 main experiences, which are your practicum, where you get 100 hours of field experience, and your internship where you get 600 hours of field experience. So once you graduate from the program, you have a total of 700 hours working in the field. This aligns with what the CRC board and KCREP require for rehab programs. And this field experience is a really good opportunity for you to apply everything you've learned in classes and get some hands-on experience working with your selected population. So in internship, it's basically a full-time job. You need 40 hours a week to get those 600 hours in the 16-week semester. If you are currently working in a rehab agency or an organization, you can use your current job for practicum and internship. We work with your supervisors to ensure you'll be given additional responsibilities to challenge you in your position, and then also make sure that you're actually working as a rehab counselor and applying those skills and knowledge. But you can definitely use your current job if you are working in the field, and it's always a plus if you can get paid for the work that you do during practicum and internship. On a similar note, I am working with a couple of state VR agencies and private organizations to build field placement opportunities for our students. And I'm always trying to expand our network to have more field placement opportunities for students. So if you are not currently working in the field, I can work with you to help you identify a placement site. But no, it is ultimately up to you to secure that site. So you'll be responsible for contacting potential agencies, sending them your resume and your application materials, and then going through whatever interview processes they have. But I'll work with you to make sure that the site aligns with your career interests and goals, and then also meets our requirements and the supervision requirements for the program. Like I said earlier, I am the field experience coordinator. So if you have any questions about practicum or internship after this presentation, definitely feel free to send your questions to me. All right. Dr. Chu.
Yes, yeah. So this online program is actually a cost recovery program, which means that we offer a flat fee for each credit hour. So it doesn't matter if you are in state or out of state, it's 600 per credit hour. So with the 60 credit hours program, it's 36,000 total. And this program is eligible for financial aid. And then for people who are working for the state, you can use tuition reimbursement to get your tuition covered. And we also offer RSA scholarship, and for each semester, the deadline is a little bit different. I believe for the fall admission, it's March 31st, but you can contact us if you if you cannot make it by March 31st. But I believe right now we are probably looking for people who are already in the program. So if you don't get in the first year, you will apply for the next year. How it works is that for RSA scholarship, we offer 3-semester payment. So it's a set of amount. Everybody is getting the same amount of scholarship, and you can use that to pay toward your tuition or your stipend. But the reason we put it for 3 semesters is because for each semester you receive any funding, there's a payback obligation, which means that you have to work as a rehab counselor in public or private agencies as a rehab counselor for 1 year. So if you receive 3 payment, your payback obligation is 3 years. So that's how we set up the RSA scholarship. So if you have questions, contact me or contact the PI, Dr. Delahan. If you ask me, I will give you the contact info as well. So that's the program cost. And for people who are interested in RSA, they have to pay attention that there will be additional courses that is required for RSA scholars to take. So for example, I think for this round, they need to take additional 3 credits, which means they will graduate with 63 credits. And for those 3 credits, additional tuition. But for that one, because it's RSA grant course, you can actually use tuition waiver to pay for the class. Thank you.
All right. So we hope that some of you guys want to apply for our program now after hearing about the program and our features. So we did want to talk about that application process. So it's a pretty straightforward process. If you click on the application portal link that's included in the slide, it'll take you straight to the application portal. But also the portal can be found on the Apply Now tab of our website. But on this portal, you will fill out some basic demographic information and then be prompted to submit the rest of your application materials. So application materials, first thing we'll need is a purpose statement. So tell us why you're applying, why you want to work in the field of rehab, and why you think you'd be a good fit for our program. We also need a resume or a CV. We also need 3 letters of recommendation, which once you put in your reference's email address, it'll automatically send out a notice to your references to submit for them to submit that letter of recommendation directly to us. If you are still in school or if you recently graduated, we would like to see at least one of those letters come from one of your professors. But if not, it can be a work supervisor, someone who's been in a leadership role with you, or someone who's supervised you in a volunteer experience. We also need a copy of your most recent transcript, but if you graduated from USF, we have access to your transcript, so you don't have to send it to us. We do also require GRE scores, but if you have field experience working in a rehab agency or an organization, or if you have educational or personal experience working with people with disabilities, reach out to us at the program email that's listed on the slide, and we can see if you're eligible for a GRE waiver. And if you're approved for that waiver, then you don't have to take the GRE, which is one of the perks of our program. Also, we do a background check and accountability form since you are going to be working with clients during the program, and a lot of sites require background checks. We run one at the start to make sure you'll be eligible for field experiences. Once you submit your materials, there's also a application fee that goes to the university. But once you submit everything, you will get a confirmation from the portal. Just be aware that sometimes this email does go to spam. So if you don't get something right away, make sure you check your spam or junk folders. And if not, you can always reach out to that program email that is on the slide, and we can go in and check to make sure we've received everything. But once you submit your application, you can go back into the portal and see if we've reviewed your materials, and also check to make sure your letters of recommendation have been received. And then, like I said, if you ever want to check the status of your application, just feel free to email us at that email that's on this slide, and we can answer any questions or check the status of your application. So deadlines for application, we are accepting students for fall and spring. So if you want to apply to start in the fall, then your application is due by June 1st. If you want to apply to start in the spring, then applications are due October 15th.
Can I add? I just want to add. Can I add something? Just like for all of you, I will encourage all of you, if you are interested, to submit for GRE waiver, because we approve a lot of GRE waivers. So don't be like, don't be scared about GRE, because we get a lot of requests about GRE. So talk to us, and we will talk to you about whether you will be eligible to get the waiver.
All right. So now we wanted to turn it over to one of our second year students, Misty, to give you guys some advice and then just some insight on what it's like being a current student in our program.
Hi everyone, I'm Misty, as she said, and it is my second year, and I wanted to say this is probably one of my best experiences, because my undergrad, I was doing 3, sometimes 4 classes per semester, and having it broken up to where you only have to focus on 2 is like a godsend, because I work full time, and I'm sure most of you will, and they accommodate you with the times that you have to meet, so it's not going to be too late or too early. And the course content and the teachers and the professors that are in this course, they're very helpful. And I find a lot of their resources and their teaching styles that even if you don't have like a psychological background for some of the courses, they explain it very well. And the course material helps you learn it too. And I think one of my favorite perks was not having to take the GRE, but that wouldn't have been too bad, but it does help. Like she said, just submit your application for that. And for my recommendation, I would say I like to plan my week ahead. So once you get used to your work schedule and everything, it's not a lot of information that you have to do, but I would suggest studying it all the time because it does help when you have to do your discussions and final papers that you'll have. But overall, it's been a very good experience, and the opportunities from this master's program, you can go in a different variety of ways. Preferably, I would like to go to the VA, which has lots of employment opportunities and really good benefits. But wherever it takes you, I just hope you have a passion for it, and it'll be a rewarding experience. And finally, the practicum and internship. The practicum is the only one that I've done, and I do the fall internship. But the professors, like Dr. Worthy said, will help you place, and it's a very good learning experience, and I enjoyed it a lot. So I wish you all the best, and I hope you take this program because you'll find it to be very valuable in all the resources and information they have. Plus, you don't have to go to campus to go to school. So thank you all. I hope you have a good day. I'll see y'all later, maybe in another class.
Thank you.
Okay. I just saw somebody saying that the link for RSA info wasn't working. I will double check that in the PowerPoint before we send it out to you guys. But it's also on our website as well, so it should be working on there. But if you want more information, this QR code and the link should take you directly to our website. And then I guess we are going to open it up for questions that you guys have.
So we can ask questions now?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so I'm concerned about this non-accreditation. I didn't understand what you were saying, Kappa or Prappa, or what were you saying?
Dr. Chu, do you want to explain the accreditation?
Yeah, so the accreditation you are referring to is probably KCREP. So I think it depends on where you are. So like our program is designed for people who want to become certified rehab counselor. The rehab counseling certification is a national certificate. So like Dr. Worthy said, as long as you finish 75% of the courses, you are eligible to become a certified rehab counselor. But if you are looking at becoming a mental health counselor, that's a different story. So for different states, they have their different requirement. For some states, you have to graduate from a KCREP accredited program to be able to be eligible to become a either licensed professional counselor or licensed professional counselor, mental health counselor. And if you are in the state of Florida, this is one of the states that starting 2025, you have to graduate from a KCREP accredited program. So we are in our 2024 now. So we are hoping we will get accreditation soon, but we cannot guarantee by 2025 that you will be saying you will graduate from a KCREP accredited program. But if you think about if you come this fall, it takes you 2.5 years or some years to graduate. So by the time we have our KCREP accreditation, you can retrospect to 18 months. So anybody graduate by the time we got our accreditation, any people graduate 18 months ago from the program was still considered a graduate from a CACREP accredited program. So we cannot guarantee anything, but we are trying our best to get the accreditation as soon as possible. So it really depends on whether you want to become a licensed mental health counselor in which state. So for people who, for example, in Illinois, then they will, if you have CRC, then you will be eligible to become a licensed professional counselor. So it depends on what state you are. Yes, accreditation is important, but unfortunately, in like 2017, is it 2017 because the program actually has accreditation from CORE since like 50 years ago, but when CACREP and CORE merged, that CORE is actually go under CACREP. That's why we are kind of in the transition stage, but I'm sure we will get accreditation soon. Do you have a specific question?
Will you spell this K-crab? Because I'm not, I can research it once you spell it for me, please.
Oh, CACREP. Oh, I can quickly find it. Council something.
I'll put a link to their website in the chat really quick.
Yeah, so it's Council for Accreditation of Counseling and Related Educational Program. So in the past, the state legislation will say if you graduate from a CACREP accredited program or CORE accredited program or COMFT program, you will be eligible to become licensed. But right now, a lot of states are looking into accepting only CACREP accredited program graduates. So
just put a
you
link
said
to
that
their
kind of fast. Council for Accreditation, what?
of counseling, I can write that down in the chat.
And I just put a link to their website in the chat as well.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Okay. Caitlin, do you want to ask your question?
Hi, thank you. I was just wondering about, because I really am interested in this program, but are the classes something that will carry over or transfer over in case I move out of state? But I plan on working as a VR counselor in another state, but I want to start the program and then transfer some over. Is that something that could work?
Yes. So with the rehab credential, it transfers state to state, and our program allows you to be an out-of-state student. So to be able to wherever you need, just that flat rate of $600, regardless of if you're in state, out of state, anywhere you are really. The tuition doesn't change. There's really no change if you move while you're in the program. Does that answer your question?
It does, because I know that like a VR, like other agencies, I know they do all like the same RSA kind of scholarship stuff. But would that mean in terms of like paying back the classes that I would have to use like apply for the state tuition waiver?
So the state tuition waiver, we don't accept the waiver for the program classes. We only do the reimbursement. So
Okay.
if you move, like if you're in Florida right now, they do the reimbursement program. So you'd be eligible as long as you're working for them for the reimbursement. But then if you move to like Georgia, wherever else, it would be up to that agency as to whether or not they offer the reimbursement. So without knowing all the states that you'd be interested in moving to, we wouldn't be able to guarantee that the reimbursement's offered through their state agency.
Okay, all right. I just didn't know if it was something like I should start now or just wait till like the future if I do move out of state and just start fresh with like another state and that whole thing. So
Yes, I think to answer that, it'd just be looking into if you're looking at moving to another state, seeing if they offer that reimbursement. And then if you are an RSA scholar, as long as you're working as a rehabilitation counselor, that qualifies for your payback, regardless of what agency
Okay.
state you're with.
All right. Yeah, I was wondering that too. If I just continue as a VR counselor, if it will even, it'll just all roll into one thing.
It should. Dr. Chu, does it?
Sorry, I was answering the question in the chat. Can you repeat the question?
You're good. The question is, if she changes, like moves to a different state while she's doing the RSA payback, but stays in a rehab counseling role, that counts, right, for pay.
Yeah, like I said, the grant is actually a federal grant. So yeah, you cannot move to out of the country, but as long as it's in US and you work as a rehab counselor in an approved agency, then it will count toward your payback obligation.
Okay. Thank you.
And then Dr. Chu, while you're talking about RSA, Dylan in the chat had a question. Just to make sure, with RSA, it covers 3 semesters of tuition, so it'd cover 1 full year of school, correct?
So we don't go by that, we only go by the amount. And so the total amount is around 26,000. So you just divide it by 3. So it's like 8,000 something. It's what you get each semester for 3 semesters. And how you are going to use that or save some for other semesters, that's really up to you. But that's how we build the program. So you don't need to have too many years of payback obligation. Some students are asking like, oh, can I not getting that much? I just want to use like delay for another semester. I'm like, oh, there will be 1 more year of obligation. So just take the funding. So as long as the total is what it matters.
Yes. And then there was another question while we're talking about tuition in the chat about what the tuition cost is. And so again, it's $600 per credit hour, 60 credit hour program. So it equals about $36,000 total. Let me see who has their hand up. All right, Sophia, do you want to ask your question? You're asking, you're muted, Sophia. Okay. All right, so we had another question in the chat. So they are currently working in the state of Ohio as a BRC. They have a master's in public administration. So would they be qualified based on that in the previous work experience? But they were told to get a CRC that they need a related master's degree, but do not know if you would be accepted. Yes, you would be accepted into our program based on that experience, or you should be, along with all of your other application materials. Your experience would qualify you for this program. Daniela?
Excellent. Thank you so much. It's been a great presentation.
I'm glad. Sorry, I'm trying to go through the chat. There's a lot of back and forth, so I'm making sure everyone's questions have been answered. Have we, Dr. Chu, is there a veterans discount on tuition? Did we answer that one?
Yeah, I said no, but they can use GI Bill. But there's no veteran discount.
Right. I can't see whoever has their hand up. Ask your question. You're good.
Oh, hi, this is Caitlin again.
Okay.
I know you had a slide about employers and opportunities like in the private sector and the ADA. What about opportunities with Social Security office? Is there anything like, I know they have disability determination, like stuff focused on the medical aspect. I don't know if there's anything like that out there.
Definitely. We haven't had any students go into that yet. But as long as you're working pretty much with people with disabilities and using counseling skills, that would count. So yes, and I know people in other rehab counseling programs have gone into that field. We just haven't had anyone specifically in our program go into that yet.
Yeah, and I can say like for people, so there will be people working in a private rehab agency. So although we don't have students who are doing that track, like that career path, but for our on-campus program, we do have like practicum sites available for private rehab. If people are interested, they can do workers' compensation case, they can work on Social Security, and they can even provide test. They can even like testify in the court. So they will work for the lawyers or insurance companies as a contractor.
Oh, okay. So there's different opportunities with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
And then I see Sophia's question in the chat. So she wanted to know if working in a school district with children with disabilities would count for internship. And yes, as long as you are working directly with people with disabilities, most sites will count for internship. But like I said, when it gets time for your field placement, I'll just double check your site to make sure that you can meet all of the requirements. But yes, working in schools with children with disabilities should qualify as an internship site. All right. Any other questions? All right. Well, then we will wrap up. We appreciate everyone's time. There were some great questions here. If you have any other questions, think about this after, just feel free to reach out to any of us or the program email, and we are more than happy to answer your questions. Sorry, we got one more question. So yes, if you want to start part-time and then go full-time, after you get a feel for the classes, we can work that out. We've had students go mostly full-time to part-time, just based on other circumstances, but we can definitely try to switch you back over and kind of create an individualized plan of study for you. So it is possible to switch between the two. And then, yes, we will send out after this a copy of the presentation for everybody to have and to review. And then, like I said, if you have more questions, just reach out to us and we're more than happy to answer them.
Great, thank you. And then I know Dr. Worthy and I are also discussing about potential on-campus social events, or just come to campus for people to get to know each other for our current students. So there will be opportunities for people to come to campus if they want to.
Yes, definitely opportunities to connect with your coworkers. Kurt, no, we have your emails from the registration form. So as long as your email that you gave us on the registration form is correct, you'll get the presentation to that email that you provided to us.
Thank you so much. Nice seeing you guys. Bye.
Dr. Worthy, I just have one more question. So is it my understanding that you're not no longer involved with the Department of Child and Family Services degree or the behavioral and community degree? It's just rehabilitative services?
No, we are under it. We are part of the College of Behavioral and Community Services, and we are under the Department of Child and Family Studies.
Yes, we're just a program under there. We're separate. There's a clinical rehab and mental health counseling program that we're affiliated with, but that's our in-person one. And so this one is the online version of that focuses only on rehab counseling.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.